Hey, what's up? This is J-Pat.
This is B-Rock, and we're the Knox, and you're listening to Behind the Beat. The name The Knox came from when we lived together on Avenue C and 5th Street. We had like a really small, pretty crappy apartment, paper-thin walls, and at the time we weren't really the Knox officially. We were just each making our own music in our apartments, and we were roommates, and we'd each be like banging music through these studio monitors, and the neighbors would always bang on the door or the ceiling or anything they could bang on to get us to shut up. And then if I got them, I'd turn my music off and I'd go into his room and be like, I got the Knox, I can't play anymore. And so we started making stuff together. I'd just kind of sit down on what he's doing or vice versa. I got the Knox. And then we did this whole remix project thing together for the first thing we ever did. And we needed a name, and we were like, well, the Knox makes sense because it's what we deal with every day. And yeah, that's really, the rest is history.
When we make the stuff in the studio, we're usually on the same page as far as like where to go with the track, sound-wise and vibe-wise.
Yeah, when you work with someone for that long, I think you kind of become one brain. You know? My first crush, Virginia Eldred, in kindergarten.
I mean, definitely getting back in the studio because a lot of times we get most inspired being away from the studio and like seeing other things and playing shows and figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and then coming back and using that in our music. But also just like seeing friends and being out, and like being out in New York isn't like being out anywhere else, so, and I like being out, so.
It's the best city to come home to.
Yeah.
I think it's like, when you leave, sometimes like, oh, it's nice to get out, but then you like, that feeling of crossing the bridge from JFK is a good one. The most fun thing about working with friends is probably kind of the payoff, I think. I mean, it's obviously fun when you're in there making it, but then like when the song is out and if it's like getting a bunch of love, it's so cool to be able to text your homie or just like see him out and be like, dude, like it's doing so well, you know, like versus some guy that just like wrote the top line or some person you don't know very well that was like kind of set up, you know. It's like when it's your friend, it just feels way better. It's like with Classic, those guys have been our friends for 7 years, so when this every time we get something, any kind of look for it or a response, it's always like so cool to just be like, it was just us. We didn't have to bring in any, you know, there's no Max Martins or these big guys to call in, you know. It's like just made from people that we've known forever, which is cool. I
think if I could collaborate with any artist, I'd have to say Michael Jackson, just because like he was the greatest. You know what I mean? Like not even being cliche, but like kind of he was just like the guy.
I said Bruce Springsteen. Just, I love him. And I grew up listening. My parents I grew up listening to him so much. I think he's an amazing songwriter. I think he needs to do a dance record.
My earliest memory of music is not being able to listen to music, except for the music that my parents played, which was like gospel and jazz and like that. But like my parents didn't let me listen to like I would like go to school and all my friends would have like the newest like Tupac tape, I guess back then, or like whatever, and like they were like, have you heard this? And I was just like, what? Like there's other music that isn't like church, you know what I mean? I just remember feeling like so out of the loop for like years, and then finally I got a radio, and it was like, that's when I kind of like took off.
Yeah, my first memory is definitely either Bruce Springsteen or Tom Petty, just my parents blasting it. And then my first tape was actually Michael Jackson tape. My first concert was Mixmaster Mike, who used to be the Beastie Boys DJ, and he was like this crazy scratch hip hop guy, and I was 13 years old. My mom had to like sneak me into this show in Boston. And I was in the front row going nuts. And I remember it was my birthday, it was a full surprise. I was like losing my shit. I got him to sign my mixer plate at the time. I like, took the face plate off my mixer and had him sign it.
I want to say I would be playing basketball, but I'm too small, so it's probably not true. But like I'm into like weird like graphic art and shit, so.
I'd try to be in the movie business, I think.